Lecture 18 is part 2 of World Religions. We're going to focus more on Islam here. Its impact, well, Islam unified Arabia, North Africa, and the Middle East before moving further east Persia, India, and then all the way to the Pacific. Islam would spread west to Spain and to the Atlantic. China and Russia are kind of along Islam's periphery. Islam encroached upon Christianity in the Balkans, in Sicily, and in Spain. Christianity survives the Islamic wave of success and expansion. We touched on this in an earlier lecture. Let's talk about historical context here for a moment. Arabic military success coupled with Islamic expansion. The fall of the Western Roman Empire leaves a vacuum that Islam will partially fill. Muslim missionaries spread Islam to India. Islam never displaced Hinduism as India's majority religion. Islam often pushed Buddhism aside as it expanded eastward. Central Asian Turks converted to Islam. This will come back to haunt Byzantium later as they collide with Christian Byzantine Empire. Further spread to sub-Saharan Africa, the Indian Ocean coast of Africa, the sort of Swahili coast, and then further spread eastward to Malaysia and Indonesia. Why was Islam so successful? Let's look at some of the factors. Clarity of message. Islam pointed to those major obligations that needed to be fulfilled for the afterlife. It was a great commercial and military success, points to God's sanction of Islam. So we have a combination of tolerance and inducement. Jews and Christians, peoples of the book, although they were taxed for their infidelity. Few people were forced to convert as tax revenue would be diminished. Again, money over faith. Merchants were welcomed in Islam as long as religious obligations were fulfilled. Remember, Muhammad himself was a merchant. Poor people might find solace in Islam for its spiritual equality. Again, that spirit of egalitarianism. When we say clarity of message, Islam is remarkably simple. I don't mean simple, but it's much clearer than, say, the sort of convoluted trinity of Christianity. With Islam, you have the belief in Allah as the only God and Muhammad as his prophet. We talked about the internal conflict. I'm just going to touch on it here in Islam between the Sunni majority and the Shia minority. This conflict is over claims to authority, and it has not ended. All you have to do is watch the news daily to see this. Icons are generally frowned upon in Islam. It's considered blasphemous to try to depict God, something that you cannot depict. Music is also a potential distraction in Islam. Arabs generated science and reason, and these had to be reconciled with Islam. We see the same process in the West. Islam and politics. Well, Islamic rulers should be pious and faithful, but use the state to advance the religion. So this long entrenched notion that we have here in the United States about the separation of church and state is foreign to Islam. You look at the ongoing problems that we have with Iran. Iran is a theocracy, state and religion commingled. The state in Islam can punish on behalf of the religion. Arab caliphates, of course we talked about this earlier with Damascus, the early caliphate in Syria, and then shifted to Baghdad. The Arab caliphates tended to be cosmopolitan. Islam, like Christianity, had little connection to democracy. This is a historical fact that some people in the West, especially the United States, may have difficulty with. Christianity was born outside the state. Islam born within the judicial or the political state of Muhammad's career. Slavery tolerated, but not so much Muslim enslaving Muslims. Islam and gender. Female infanticide is reduced. Women had souls. Women had legal rights. Women had property rights and the right to family inheritance. women had some rights to divorce and, of course, to worship separately from men. The Arab decline, distinct decline by the 13th century. Many Arab conquests are lost. Cultural activities are narrowed. The Arab role in trade obviously diminished. The Caliphate in Baghdad fell to the Mongols in the 13th century. Let's draw some conclusions. Islam united a substantial portion of mankind in the post-classical world. This may be its greatest achievement. This unity that stretched from the Atlantic across North Africa, through the Middle East, across southern Asia, all the way to Indonesia and Malaysia, China, Japan, Korea. A remarkable portion of the globe is united for a time under Islam. And this, of course, promoted commerce and travel. So Islam has the tendency to promote and extend the World Wide Web, the human web that we've discussed throughout these lectures. So that's part 2 of World Religions focused on Islam. Thank you.